So hello and welcome back to another video, and most importantly welcome back to Rosemere. Yes, I'm like a big kid again. I absolutely love this place, and we're back for another session. I'm currently in the last resort. When I first got here there was nobody on the lake. I arrived here about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, nobody on the lake. It has been blowing an absolute hoolie and chucking it down, which condition wise for this place, it's not ideal. I've said it many a times before, they love the sunshine in here. However, I've seen a good few fish out in front of me. I've seen a bit of fizzing as well. I'm a bit skeptical as to whether or not I can get the rods out there without spooking them off too much. I think what I might do is introduce a little bit of bait first, just to push them out, and then go out with the rigs. I've already dropped a bit of a boo-boo because I forgot the bucket with a PVA in it. You know, we're gonna have to make sure that we are presented. I might end up poling out yet, I don't know, or I might just switch over to a stiffer material so it doesn't tangle on the cast, but we'll work on that. And all my hook baits was in that bucket as well, but you know, I can still use the bottom baits. It's just that they are a little bit soft. So you know, I've got that on my brain at the moment, but we'll make it work, we'll make it happen. But yes, I am so eager to get them rods out. It looks like it's going to piss it down again, so you know, what filming I can do whilst I'm doing that, I don't know, but I shall do my best for you, and then we shall have another catch up once the rods are out there, and I'll let you know exactly what I'm doing. Well, that is it then, the rods are out there fishing, and it was a little bit tricky. Boy, did the rain come down. It really did at one point, and the wind, flipping heck, it really is strong at the moment. But I'm feeling really positive. I pushed the fish out the zone with the bait. I've put quite a lot of bait out, probably around about 7 kilo, give or take, over the 3 spots. And they've gone out really nicely, and I managed to catch a few PVA nuggets off one of the other guys. There's another 2 guys turned up now, so there's 3 of us on, which I'm quite pleased about. I do prefer it when there's a few on here. It keeps them fish moving about. But yeah, since I put that bait out and I've got the rods out, I have seen a couple of fish, not in the zone. They're a lot further back, so it looks like I've just pushed them back a bit, which is good. I've not spooked them. On here it seems to be that you can put the bait out there and it don't really affect them much. It just causes them to push out the area for a minute or 2. But if you put a lead out there, they're straight gone. You know, it's very hard to stalk in here, let's put it that way. So yes, everything's sorted. The left hand rod, that's fishing a new spot. In fact, they're all fishing new spots really. It didn't take me long to lead about though. It's just the wind that keeps bleeping it all the time. It really is hacking through here at the moment. I mean, I'm quite alright here, but yes. It's due to drop though this afternoon, so we should be alright. We're sort of coming up for tea time, so everything's sorted in time for that crucial time for me anyway. I always seem to get a lot more bites in the afternoon. Whether or not I'll get a bite this afternoon after the commotion or not, I'm not too sure, but there's always chance tomorrow. Everything's done, I'm just going to sit on my hands now. So yes, the left hand spot, that's fishing 5 1/4 wraps, and I've actually gone a lot further on that. I tend to fish that area at around about 3 1/2 wraps, but because of the way the weed is separated at the minute in the little channels and that, earlier when I saw that fish, it was cutting through one of the little channels, so I've actually placed it in there. You know, I'm baited quite tight, well as tight as I could with a catapult. Quite easy fishing really, just an all-out boilie approach, the scope egg squid with the catapult, and that's what I've done on all 3. The one that's straight out in front of me, that's fishing at a 7 1/4 wraps. It is a very similar spot to where I fished last year, and I did have a couple of fish off of that spot. However, it's slightly to the left because of where the weed is at the moment. And then the right hand rod, that's a completely new spot. That's fishing at 9 wraps and a bit, about 9 wraps and 2 foot, fishing right up to where the weed starts, but it's like in a little channel. I will spin it round and I will show you the spots and that in a bit, but I'm just kind of sort of explaining what it's like between the spots. So I've got that one at 7 1/2, that one at 9, but there's a weed bed that cuts across here, so it sort of creates a channel between them 2 rods really. So I haven't baited as tight on that, I've actually gone a little bit wider. I mean, if anything, I'm a little bit concerned about the hook baits. Usually I like to use the hardened hook baits or the cultured hook baits, because there is a lot of silverfish in here. The scope egg squid is quite a soft bait really. But I've put some in an air dry bag just to see if I can dry it out a bit. But at the moment, you know, that's what I've gone out there with. But yeah, I'm feeling really confident, really confident. There's definitely a few fish in the area, and I think it's only a matter of time before they drift back in. Even the water down here, it looks a different colour, it really does. I mean, I've been and had a look in the back bay, and up at where the point is, where the divide is through like the sides of the lake, and the water's a lot clearer up there. It's definitely a lot more coloured down here, and for me, you know, with the amount of weed that's in here, it's not like the wind hits the lake and, you know, really pushes the water across. So for me, the only thing that can be doing that is fish. So yeah, wish me luck. I'm going to enjoy this cup of tea. I shall have a bit of an update with you later if nothing else happens, but certainly I reckon there'll be something positive to report back on. I'll keep my eyes peeled, keep watching, and yes, hope for one of them big fat whackers. Well, good evening, and we're approaching 8 o'clock now. It's about 7:45, and as you can see, the wind's dropped off and it's eventually stopped raining. Since I last spoke to you though, it has rained pretty much for the duration really. It stopped within sort of the last 10 minutes or so, and I haven't seen a deal. I hate it when it rains on here, I really do. The fish just disappear and then the lake looks lifeless. But since it stopped raining, I have seen a little patch of fizz coming up, and it's a lot shorter than where I'm fishing as well, just in front of this weed here. Yeah, on 2 occasions I've seen a little patch of fizz coming up, so there's definitely a feeding fish in the area. But other than that, the only other thing I've seen so far is one of the homegrowns has just been zipping around on the surface. You can usually sort of gauge when you're going to get a bite, because you do pick up every little thing that happens in this swim. Because of where the island is there and the gaps in the weed, it creates a lot of slack water where it's calm, and it only takes something to move through the weed, and you can tell. Usually you can sort of predict when the bite's going to happen on here. But yeah, I feel really confident. I don't think anything's going to happen this evening unless they decide to switch on in the next sort of hour or so. But yeah, I mean, there's even chance of a bite in the morning in this swim. I have had a bite, I think it was around about 10, 11 o'clock time. I have had a late morning bite out of this swim before. But other than that, it's all been afternoon again. But in general, it's usually the second night that fish is better than the first night. Obviously, you've made all that commotion and everything. It does really help if you can get here early in the morning, and get everything done long before the afternoon period. But I arrive on a Sunday now. I usually get here for around about 2 o'clock because I work up until 12 and then I head straight to the lake. So, it always feels like a mad rush when I get here. And with the weed situation at the moment, the spots have all changed. So it's not as easy as some sessions have been, where I've had it all wrapped, all the spots marked out. I do log everything down, you see. I mean, there is a couple of spots that are the same. I just didn't fancy fishing them. Not with the way the channels in the weed are, You notice the fish coming through different areas, and it's about selecting that area where they're passing through. And that's what I've done, really. I mean, if I zoom in a bit now. So as you can see there, that channel there where it goes round the back there. So I've got one rod in that gap there, and then I've got one rod in the back of that gap there. So there's that channel that divides between them, so I've baited between it basically. and that's where I seen the fish moving across. And also to the right here, if I can show you, there's a little channel between the weed there. If you notice, I've noticed the odd fish coming down that channel there. I mean, there's quite a known spot to the right here where you can walk round and you can actually see the spot, and you can, you know, a lot of people tend to fish that. It's a good baiting pole spot. It's a good washing line method spot, that as well. If you can put your pole out, cast over the pole and then bring it back. But I just think that spot gets fished far too much, I really do. But if anything warranted, you know, me sort of putting a rig there, then I would. But I've put the rigs where I've seen the fish passing over, and I've ignored the hot spot, so to speak of. I mean, in all the sessions that I've done in this swim, I've never even fished that spot once yet. For whatever reason, I don't know. Because it does do bites, it does do fish. Alan had a twin scale off of that spot before. But I don't know, I tend to not try and copy. Try and be a little bit different. I just think it helps selecting them fish that, you know, don't get caught as regular. I'll show you the left-hand spot tomorrow, because I can't really see it from this angle. But that just screams out a fish, that does, it really does. It's a good area, that. The fish always pass up and down there. And usually, you know, it's about selecting the right channel through the weed, like I mentioned. And I've not fished that spot, but it looks really good for it. And the water's so coloured up over there. And when I got here, that's where I seen that real good one passing through. It's a definite 40 pounder. You could even see the scale pattern down the side of it. Really nice fish it was. I don't know what fish it was, but definitely one of the 40s. So yes, it is all to play for. I love it when it's like this now, and you can see everything that moves. You know, you just sat here waiting for them little signs. Anything at all that sort of perks your confidence up. I'm like a big kid when I'm sitting here like this. It is a strange lake, really. I mean, usually with the weather front that we've got at the minute, you'd be sat here rubbing your hands anywhere else. These are the weather forecasts which we all want to go fishing on. A low pressure, overcast, you know, and a good wind. Yeah, and it's a nice warm wind as well. Even though, like today, it's been raining and overcast all day, it's been really muggy. Sort of hovering around 21, 22. But yes, it does look very lifeless at the moment, I must admit. I still think they're here though. I think they're just not moving about at the moment. I think that rain's just knocked it on the head a bit. Well, I am going to leave it there. And we shall be having an update in the morning if nothing else happens in between. I'm not expecting anything to happen through the night. I mean, out of all the time I've fished here now, I've only ever had one night bite. So yes, if nothing happens until it gets dark, it shall be the morning, and I'll be up quite early, see if I can spot an opportunity. Yes, wish me luck, and we shall catch up very soon.
I choose to think positively, no matter what's going on around me. I have a great life, and will continue to have a great life. Every breath that I inhale, I feel confident.
Well, good morning, and you join me between the swims at the moment. I awoke at first light this morning, overcast and drizzling again. It's really killed the atmosphere this morning for myself. But in between the rain this morning, there has been a little bit of fizzing, which I've noticed just out in front of this area, which is way left to where I'm actually fishing. But past sessions when I fished in the last resort, I have noticed this happening before, and then as the day progresses on, they've moved further and further down. I think the only difference really is the weather conditions. On them sessions, you know, it was nice warm sunny days with a high pressure, so you know it could go either way, but I am just going to keep my eyes peeled on this part of the lake, and if it warrants it, then the move will be on the cards. But at the moment I definitely feel like I'm just waiting for the fish to turn up. And like I said, there's not been many signs at all really. I think the rain has just knocked it on the head. I mean, at one point I was seeing like 3 patches of fizzing out in front of me, well, out in front of this area here. And it was flat calm, no rain at this point. And then the rain started and all 3 fish just stopped fizzing straight away. And then since then, you know, I haven't seen them start fizzing again, but it stopped raining at the moment, and I'm just now starting to see the odd little patch coming up again. So they are still here. I don't know why, for whatever reason, they don't like feeding when it bloody rains. I don't know. It's ever so peculiar. It really is a funny lake to get your head round, this place. But it keeps you on your toes, keeps you interested, you know. Always searching for that little opportunity. I mean, even though it's bait and weight fishing, you know, you can, like I mentioned last night, you can sort of predict when the bites are going to come just from what you can pick, what you're picking up and what you're seeing. And I do think, you know, leading into this afternoon is going to be my best option for a bite. I mean, the forecast is a lot better for tomorrow. We're not going to have any cloud cover tomorrow. Sort of highs of around about 23, 24 degrees. So tomorrow is going to be, it's going to be a lot better. I wish it was like that today, to be honest. But you know, I can't pick and choose when I can come fishing. So I've just got to make the most of whatever conditions are thrown at me when I'm here. And that's pretty much what we're doing at the moment. I mean, at some point I am going to have to at least look at one of my rods, just to see how them hook baits are faring. A little bit concerned that I haven't got the hard-on hook baits, so I might need to replace all 3. I have air dried some baits out now though, so you know, at least when I put them back out, you know, I've got that little bit more longevity to the hook baits. But if I bring one in and I think it's alright, I'm not going to touch the other 2. I'll just redo the one, but we'll assess that situation as and when we come to it. But for now, I'm just going to keep sitting on my hands. I don't want to prevent anything else, you know, sort of pushing down into the swim. Things have changed this morning. The guy that was in the gap swim, he packed up fairly early this morning. I think he left around about 7 o'clock, and somebody else come, I think it was sort of around 5:30, 5:45 time, and he's gone up on the point area. I don't know who it is at the moment. So there is somebody in the lunar swim, and then there's somebody in the point swim, and then, you know, I've got that big open expanse of water between me and where the next guy is, you know, so there's a lot of water there that the fish can drop into. And not only that, I'm happy because, you know, another couple of anglers on the lake keeping them fish moving around. So yes, all is to play for. Still really positive that I can make something happen. Just wish these conditions would pick up a little bit. But in any case, I think we've got one chance before we go home, let's put it that way. Even if I have to wait till tomorrow. But I really am hoping for this afternoon. I really am. So yes, I'm going to leave it there and I shall keep you posted. Well, good evening, and we're just coming up to around about 7:30. And this is not the update which I thought I'd be giving you by this point. It really has been a long day today. I mean, at one point the sun was out, the rain had stopped, the cloud cover had gone. And even then it wasn't what I expected. Usually as soon as that sun comes out, the fish are out with it and you can see them basking on the top and moving about. But I haven't seen that at all today. I've seen the odd fish cruising about. At one point I did have a fish in front of me and it was sat right over the right hand rod. And when you consider it's only 3.5 foot of water out there, you think there's not a lot between that fish and where my bait is actually sitting. But no, he showed no interest whatsoever of feeding. And I've spent most of the day just pacing up and down looking for signs and opportunities. I've been round to the back bay a couple of times just to make sure that I'm not missing any sort of opportunity round there, because sometimes they can be stacked up in one side and not the other. It definitely is a lake of two halves, this, but no, they're just hiding at the moment. And even now we've come into that key period, or what I expect to be the key period, and I've seen no signs of feeding at all whatsoever. I've been up and down, up and down. Yeah, not the synopsis that I wanted to be reporting right now, let me tell you. Very peculiar. And I think that just goes to show what the weather does to this place. Had it have been, red hot and sunshine for the past couple of days, I think it'd have been a total different story. So yeah, at the moment I cannot see where a bite is coming from. I need to see something, I need some signs. I've even put a little bit of bait in the margin in the swim next door, because sometimes, it's renowned for the odd fish drifting in close there in the morning. Just as a bit of a backup plan really, so I've got something else to go on. So yeah, I haven't done a lot. I did redo the left hand rod, did that with a baiting pole. That went in nice. Yeah. Even my ground bait isn't working this session. As I mentioned, I'm playing about with a certain liquid at the moment, and it usually draws them into the area, and even that cannot buy me a bite at the moment. And then the middle rod, the one that's fishing at 7.25 wraps, I redid that rod. The long rod, I haven't touched it at all. But pleased to say that the baits wasn't, whittled away or anything like that, so the roach are leaving the boilies alone. So I've not got that to worry about. At least I know I'm actually fishing. I'm not sat there with no bait on. Bit of a schoolboy error leaving that bucket at home. I shan't be doing that again. But after the week I've had, I am going to be forgetting things. It's been a tough old week, this. Another loss in the family, yeah, and I took it really hard, to be honest. So yeah, it is good to be here, whether we're catching or not. But by God, do I want to catch a fish. I really do. Just need to see a little window. That's all I need. A little bit of feeding somewhere and I'll be on it. I've just this second seen a fish right over where the back of the reeds are. It's thick, dense weed over there, and I've just seen its tail come out and flat back down. I did see that there yesterday as well, sort of around the same time. I think I was talking to you then as well. Oh, please, come on. Just need a few fish to drift in and get that munch on. Don't they know that there's a load of scopex squid out there for them? Just begging to be eaten. Anyway, I am waffling on. Today has done my head in a little bit, I'll be honest. it's good to see the lake, you know, how it reacts to different things, but I kind of knew that anyway. So yeah, when I was really expecting a different outcome and it hasn't materialised, you know, all you can do is just sit here and sort of scratch your head a little bit. I know what I'm doing's right, you know, it works for me time and time again on here, but cannot really fathom out why the fish are responding like they are at the moment. It's got to be the weather, it's just got to be. It's a really good time of year at the moment. Summer fishing on here is just magical, it really is. But out in front of me at the moment, it's pretty lifeless. It really is. So, high hopes for the morning. We're going to have to really work our socks off to try and make something happen. But hopefully, there will be some sort of opportunity to, you know, to try and make something happen on. Or, you know, what we really want is something to move over one of our spots instead of having to, you know, go and do a bit of stalking or something like that. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, and I shall speak to you very soon.
Sitting on my hands and keeping the faith has really paid off. What a perfect way to start the day.
Well, good morning, and what a morning it is too. The old Carp alarm clock is what's awoken me this morning. I did have my alarm set for 5:45 and it's still not gone off yet, so I don't know what time it actually is. I'm still in a bit of a daze, to be honest, but I have got an absolute scaly banger to show you here. 28 £2 is just gone, and it's one of the nicest fish I've had from here, so I am very, very pleased. And not only that, we had a mega thunderstorm last night, you know, a real electrical one as well, thunder, lightning, torrential downpour, so I really wasn't expecting a bite, let's put it that way, and especially not as early as this, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we can winkle another bite out. It does feel a lot different this morning. I've obviously not had time to watch the lake yet, but it does have a different atmosphere. Anyway, this fish is quite lively. I'm going to get him up for you, and then we shall have a little bit of an update very soon. Oh, and there we go, look. Just check him out. What an absolute creature. You are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I am one happy boy. Very happy. Yes. Took a liking to the Skelpex. And there's the other side. What a magnificent fish, he really is. Just blown away by him. What he lacks in size, he makes up for in good looks. He certainly does. Anyway, let's slip this fella back and see if we can't make something else happen. Well, good morning, and as you can see, the sun is starting to break through now. I've just been sitting on my hands waiting really, and we've just gone 10 o'clock and it's become quite apparent that the fish are just not here. They really are not. I've seen no signs of feeding activity this morning. Pretty much a repeat of yesterday, only today we've got much better conditions. And the fish do seem a lot more active. I've been up to the swim next door, the gap swim, and I've seen 3 or 4 decent fish all out in that main body of water there. Now out in that main zone over there, it tends to be a lot clearer there. There's not as much weed in that area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this cup of tea and I'm going to move up there for the last couple of hours of the session. I'm not going to bother leading it about. I'm just going to go down there. I'm going to fire some baits in over the top of the fish. Hopefully that pushes them out without actually spooking them, so I can just get a couple of rigs out there. I'm not going to let it out. I'm just going to sort of look for the areas what I think are clear and just pub chuck it basically. I think that's going to be my best option of getting another bite this morning. I really do. And I'm fast running out of time. I've only got a few hours left. So I'm going to finish this brew and then you shall be joining me in the swim next door. Hopefully we can make it happen. They're definitely there. 3 or 4 different really good fish I've seen. So yeah, and they've been showing signs of feeding. Not only have they had the backs out the water, but they do keep dropping down and it's fizzing up as well. So they are feeding fish. So I'm feeling rather hopeful. I'm just going to get this brew down me and off I pop. Enough waffling, let's make it happen. Come on baby, keep moving. Keep moving, come on. Yes. Nice fish. In that weed. Come on. Come on. That's it, kick. Nice fish. It's gonna need some more weed. Come on. Come on, baby. Get in that net. Boom. Well, how is your luck? The effort has certainly paid off. But believe it or not, it's been around about an hour and a half to 2 hours since I last sort of spoke to you. And I was just thinking about reeling in, to be honest, and doing the final update, when out of nowhere the right hand rod picked up and we've got a right banger. £35 6 ounces just gone. Absolutely chuffed to bits, I really am. Oh. He is lovely. And there he is, look. Check him out in the afternoon sun. One for the road, as they say. Oh, yes. Oh. And there's the other side, look. What a way to end the video. Going home a very happy man indeed. Yes. So until next time, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.